Biology, cell structure and function. What is a cell? The smallest unit that is capable of performing life functions. After observing many cells, scientists came up with the cell theory. All living things are made of one or more cells. Cells are the basic units of structure and function in organisms. All cells come from existing cells. Cell size: to function efficiently, cells must be small. Why? If a cell is the shape of a cube and has 1 mm sides, calculate the surface area of the cube using the formula 6s2. Also, calculate the volume using the formula S3. What is the surface area to volume ratio? Do the same calculations for a cell having 2 mm sides. What happens to the size/volume ratio as the cell gets bigger? Why is this bad? Two main cell types: prokaryotic, eukaryotic. Originated approximately 1.5 billion years ago. 2 to 100 micrometers, typical plant/animal cell is 10 to 50 micrometers. Organized, have a nucleus and other organelles, structures that carry out specific functions for the cell. DNA is in the form of chromosomes. Example: animal and plant cells. Originated approximately 3.5 billion years ago. 0.52 micrometers, mu is the symbol for micro, which means 1/1,000,000th. Simple, no nucleus nor other special compartments. Single, circular DNA molecule. Example: bacterium. Prokaryotic bacterial cell. Eukaryotic plant cell. Eukaryotic animal cell. Characteristics of all cells. All pro- and eukaryotic cells have the following: cell membrane and outer boundary, which is also called the plasma membrane. Cytoplasm, the interior of a cell, just the liquid, is called cytosol. Cytoskeleton, microtubules/microfilaments, protein filaments, thread-like structures, that are important in cell movement, shape and division. Ribosomes, structures that do not have a membrane and make proteins. DNA, hereditary information. Eukaryotic organelles. Organelles that surround the cell. Cell membrane selects what can enter and leave the cell. More about this later. Cell wall. Most commonly found in plant cells and bacteria, not in animal cells. Surrounds the cell membrane and provides structure and support. Made of cellulose, long carbohydrate chain. Cilia short, numerous hairs that move the cell and or substances outside the cell. What human cells have cilia? Flagella, long tails that moves the cell and or substances outside the cell. Both cilia and flagella are made of protein filaments like the cytoskeleton. What human cell has a flagellum? Organelles inside the cell. Nucleus. Directs the cell's activities. Houses DNA. Houses the nucleolus, where ribosomes are made. Surrounded by a double membrane called the nuclear envelope. Controls what exits the nucleus like ribosomes and RNA. Has openings called nuclear pores. Endoplasmic reticulum. System of membranes that move proteins around inside the cell. Intracellular highway. Can be smooth or rough. Rough has ribosomes attached to it and smooth does not. Ribosomes can also be found in the cytosol. Golgi apparatus. Flattens sacs. Processes proteins into vesicles, membrane-bound sacs. Mitochondria, chloroplast. Produces ATP, form of energy that can be used by the cell. What cells of the body have lots of mitochondria? Has a double membrane. Outer membrane is smooth and the inner membrane, crusty, is folded. Has its own DNA. Chloroplast. In plants, some protists and some bacteria, not in animal cells. Where photosynthesis occurs. Has its own DNA and a double membrane. Mitochondria. Chloroplast. Lysosome central vacuole spherical organelle where digestion occurs. Remove the web between fingers of a fetus. Usually in animal cells. Central vacuole. Large. Stores water, nutrients and waste. Only in plant cells. Animal cells have vacuoles but not central vacuoles. Typical animal cell. http://web.j.cuni.edu/nsc/images/cell.gif. Typical plant cell. How do animal and plant cells differ? Spherical. Might have flagella or cilia. Rectangular. Have a cell wall. Have chloroplasts. Have a central vacuole. Evolution of the eukaryotic cell. A possible explanation for how eukaryotic cells came into existence is the endosymbiotic theory. Symbiosis is a relationship between organisms where every member benefits. The endosymbiotic theory states that chloroplasts and mitochondria were once prokaryotic bacteria. They entered a larger prokaryotic cell and all parties benefited. The chloroplast and mitochondria got extra protection and the larger cell developed the ability to make its own food and energy. Evidence for the endosymbiotic hypothesis is the following. Mitochondria and chloroplasts are similar to bacteria in both size and structure. Both organelles are bounded by a double membrane. The outer membrane may represent the engulfing vesicle, and the inner membrane from the prokaryote. Mitochondria and chloroplasts each contain a limited amount of genetic material and divide by splitting. The DNA is a circular loop like that of prokaryotes. Most proteins of mitochondria and chloroplasts are now produced by the host cell, but these organelles do have their own ribosomes and do produce some proteins. Their ribosomes resemble those of prokaryotes. The RNA base sequence of the ribosomes in chloroplasts and mitochondria suggests a prokaryotic origin. Evidence of the endosymbiotic theory. Both chloroplasts and mitochondria have their own circular DNA, like prokaryotic cells. Both chloroplasts and mitochondria have a double membrane. Mitochondria are approximately the size of bacteria.